Yo, what's good, guys? It's Jiedel. I'm joined by Cash. Today, we are here to discuss my biggest NBA conspiracy. I brought Cash along. He's the biggest.
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
You think it just happened?
I think it happened. But we can go over, we can hear out, your case. But I really feel like it happened.
Yeah, so I'm a Miami Heat fan. This is about the Spurs 2014 finals, so I might be biased. Cash, he's not a Heat fan or a Spurs fan. There is no bias in his heart here. Zero bias.
Wait, this year LeBron playing with him, right?
Yeah.
You got
sweat. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so the NBA has had its fair share of conspiracy theories. The 1985 draft lottery has long been theorized to have been rigged in order for the New York Knicks to select Patrick Ewing. In May of 2002, a heavily scrutinized playoff matchup between the Kings and Lakers also theorized.
Excuse me. So, when they did that draft, was that live on television or was that behind?
It was one that I think they did it behind camera. It was really sus.
Really sus right there.
Yeah.
Okay, first indication.
Players have also been involved in conspiracies. In 1994, the consensus best player of all time at the time, Michael Jordan, retired from basketball early. Many thought he was trying to hide a gambling scandal.
Do you feel like he was?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You really feel like Jordan just got too bored of the game?
You know what? It must have been gambling. That makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes
no one gets bored of dominating NBA players.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's what it's at best,
Yeah, when you're dominating as much as he was, you don't get bored of that.
No, you don't. Exactly.
There's other instances of fishy behavior from the players and the league that people have gone on to theorize about, but today is different, guys, because today we're calling out a team, not the league or players. In 2013, the Miami Heat defeated the San Antonio Spurs in devastating fashion, with Ray Allen hitting one of the most greatest shots in NBA history. The two teams met again in the following finals and found themselves knotted up at 92-94 with 3 minutes and 59 seconds left in Game 1. LeBron James was subbed out at that point in the game due to leg cramps and would never enter the game again. LeBron James was dominating in Game 1 up to that point. He had 25 points and over 50% shooting and was holding his matchup, Kawhi Leonard, to only 3 points at the time.
Can anybody, no one want to talk about this?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. 3 points.
3 points. Up to this point, he had a net neutral plus-minus, suggesting the game could have gone either way in those final minutes if LeBron played. But it's also worth noting that San Antonio's late run after LeBron was subbed out involved Kawhi Leonard scoring 6 points. Leonard likely would not have scored at all if LeBron stayed in the game. Which leads me to believe Miami wins Game 1, right? If LeBron plays.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page here.
Okay, you're getting a little spooky right here.
We got some juice. Considering that LeBron was by far and away the best player on the court in that game and the whole series, and Leonard was getting destroyed, it's more than safe to assume Miami Heat would have won Game 1 of the 2014 finals if LeBron James didn't cramp up. But why did LeBron James cramp up in Game 1? Because the air conditioning system in San Antonio was claimed to have failed during the game. It begs the question, did the Spurs deliberately turn off the air conditioning system to ensure LeBron James would not be able to finish the game, thus giving the Spurs a chance? During the game, LeBron James told teammates, quote, "They're trying to smoke us out of here," referring to the abnormal temperature levels inside the arena.
Wow.
We got a lot to talk about.
So, this air conditioner, was it blowing the whole time or just...
No, it just stopped in the fourth quarter. It just stopped. It failed.
Wow. I thought...
This is an NBA arena. The Spurs are considered a classy organization, right? That's just weird, right? That doesn't happen.
That don't happen. It would never happen again.
Yeah, it hasn't happened since.
Fourth quarter, while Kawhi Leonard was down to only 6 points.
No, he only had 3. By the time LeBron left, he had 3 points. He finished the game with 9. And he was shooting 30% on those 3 points that he did have. He was terrible when LeBron was guarding him. Wow. And then the Spurs went on a run that he scored the most points for during the run, after being shut out the rest of the game.
Guys, if this is... wow. If this is not saying the earth is fucking circle, I'm serious,
Miami Heat superfan DJ Khaled also chimed in on this issue, saying he knows for a fact the Spurs turned off the air conditioning, and furthered his claims by saying the Spurs practiced in high temperature situations prior to Game 1 because they knew the AC outage was coming. However, when asked about how Khaled knew this information, he claimed his source was the streets.
But there's nothing wrong with having a source at the streets.
Look, I'm someone
He can't snitch.
I fully believe in this conspiracy. I think without a doubt the Spurs did it. I think you need to have a stronger source than the streets.
I mean, have you ever just went, the middle of the road and put your ear to the streets?
I guess not.
Exactly.
Have you done that?
Something like that. But DJ Khaled, he making a strong case here because basically, he can't snitch. You know what I mean? He got facts from somebody, but you just can't go out there and say, "Oh, I got this information from James."
Yeah.
Then you become a snitch, so you can't do that.
Yeah, the Spurs would kill me. Greg Popovich's hit squad would come after me if I snitched on it.
Yeah, basically. You never had one anniversary of your life, put it like that.
Okay, so if the Spurs did it, who do you think it was? The general manager? Do you think it was Pop? Who do you think it was?
I think Popovich got something to do with it.
You think Pop has something to do
The
with it?
fact that, they went to practice and they actually practiced prior to that without air conditioning, so their bodies are already suitable for it. It's already adapted for it, for that occasion. So I really feel like Popovich really did have something to it. I don't think the players did.
Yeah, I don't think the players did. Okay, so my theory, I think somebody involved with the Spurs organization did it, but I don't think it was Pop. I think it was probably someone who just did it and was like, I'm just going to do this and I'm not going to tell anybody.
But you had to know when they was practicing, the time.
That's true. The Heat thing is sus.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the sus part. It's also worth noting in that same year's playoffs against the Portland Trailblazers in San Antonio, the Portland Trailblazers found a rattlesnake in their locker room. An actual rattlesnake.
The Portland Trailblazers had a rattlesnake
in their locker room when they were the away team in San Antonio that same year. That's kind of strange, don't you think?
What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, San Antonio,
some snaky shit going on over there, bro.
I want you to think about it this way. For a rattlesnake to have gotten to a locker room, it would have had to enter the arena and slither all the way to the locker room with nobody noticing.
What was a rattlesnake used for? Intimidation?
Dude, I don't know.
It would have bit somebody, dude.
No, I think it was Maurice Harkless was freaked out by the incident. And he was the one who noticed it first and called, arena officials to get rid of the snake.
What?
Yeah. This happened. The same year. The same playoffs. This happened. Messing with the other team's locker room was a tactic long used by famed Celtics coach Red Auerbach, who reportedly turned the heat up in opposing lockers during finals games against the Los Angeles Lakers. Could Spurs coach Greg Popovich or somebody else in the Spurs organization have been inspired by Auerbach? Now, let's get to the ramifications of the Spurs cheating to win Game 1. Miami would go on to win Game 2 in normal temperature conditions before losing the following 3 games. The Miami Heat looked fairly defeated in the final 3 games of the series, and people observed that some Miami players looked to be relieved after finishing 4 years of straight finals appearances. However, you're probably wondering why the finals would change if Miami had won Game 1. Well, the entire series, as well as the following year's finals, likely changes. If Miami wins Game 1, they'd be 2-0. They would have beaten the Spurs twice in San Antonio before going back to Miami with a 2-0 lead.
With the air conditioning on.
Yeah, so now we have the stats. Teams that win the first 2 road games in an NBA playoff series go on to win 84% of the time. Miami would have all the momentum, a 2-0 lead, while the Spurs are coming off the most devastating finals loss in history, and they're down 0-2. Miami would win the series. I think we can all agree in that.
Facts.
Yeah, Miami.
Facts.
So this is where the Spurs really mess with NBA history, and honestly, it might be their fault the Warriors exist. Are you ready?
What?
Yeah. LeBron James left the Miami Heat in that offseason after they lost the finals. The Heat did look defeated after they got potentially cheated. They had won that year's finals, and LeBron James had a chance to go on for a 4-peat, something Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan have never done. He would have likely stayed to do that. He always says he's chasing the ghost. What did Michael Jordan ever do? 4 titles in a row. Miami made a trade for Goran Dragic. They traded 3 draft picks and Danny Granger to achieve that. Danny Granger was just a salary filler to make the trade work, and at the time Dragic was only making $7.5 million. The trade still could have gone through. Pau Gasol, Trevor Ariza both said they would have signed with Miami if LeBron stayed that offseason. Pau Gasol ended up being an all-star that year. On top of all of this, Hassan Whiteside was just a G League call-up, which means the Miami Heat would have entered the following playoffs with a starting lineup of Goran Dragic, Dwayne Wade, Trevor Ariza, LeBron James, and Pau Gasol, with Hassan Whiteside coming off the bench.
Automatic ring.
That's a ring.
Easily.
That's a ring.
Easily.
Yeah.
Without the AC.
Yeah, AC or not, we're still winning a title.
Right.
So Miami 4-peats, right? But then the next year, I think the Warriors probably beat them.
Right.
They probably lose the next one. So that's my conspiracy theory against the Spurs. Not how they only ruined Miami's chance at a 4-peat, but also, I mean, if LeBron stays in Miami, maybe everything's different. Durant doesn't go to the Warriors, and the NBA is a better league.
That's if though. If.
Yeah.
So, James, do you really feel like that the Spurs?
I genuinely believe that there's no reason to believe the AC system could have failed. And with the rattlesnake, I genuinely believe there's no way a rattlesnake could sneak all the way to the locker room without anybody noticing. Those two things are weird. And the other thing that is really weird about this whole thing is if you go through the playoff series, the San Antonio Spurs were taken to 7 games by a Mavericks team that wasn't very good, yet they beat the Miami Heat. Seems odd. Seems odd to me.
I don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah.
I don't believe in luck. I really believe this happened, y'all. I'm not saying that's a LeBron James, bandwagon fan, bias fan, where you guys want to call me. But just looking at all the evidence, man,
I think I've made a good case.
That's a good case, man. I think everybody in the comments probably going to be, on our side. Let us know down below in the comments.
Let us know. Did the Spurs cheat? They cheated.
It'd be real. It'd be real. You know what? I'm going to see some cases how they couldn't have cheated. How about that, too?
Yeah, explain how the AC system fails in this multi-million-dollar arena, how this rattlesnake sneaks into the Trailblazers locker room. I want to know. Look, we're not saying Popovich did it, we're not saying the owner did it, we're just saying somebody in the Spurs, they didn't want to see LeBron win again.
Facts on that, man.
Yeah. Well, guys, Cash and I think they cheated, but officially the case remains unsolved.
I don't think I know.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a really fun one.
It was. You actually got some legitimate evidence. I'm actually impressed.
I think next time you come out, we should do more. We should do more of these.
I'm definitely down, man.
Guys, let us know what NBA conspiracy theory, or would you be down for a football one too, maybe? We'll focus on NBA for now. If we do them all, we'll move on to other sports. So yeah, let me know if you guys want another conspiracy theory. Cash's link will be in the description. And peace.
Yeah.